Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest. Before we get into the crux of today's video, just a little story. So I went through the comments in my ResMed video that I released on the 12th of February. Yeah, the 12th of February. And I don't always go through comments, so sometimes I will miss any comments you do write. But I went through these comments, and the first comment was whether I was going to do a video on Highcom. They had a disastrous day today, share price down 44%. And as soon as I saw that comment, I was like, well, maybe I should do a video on Highcom. I was thinking about doing it last night because the whole reason why the share price fell in 44% today on 13th of February is because of an announcement the company released just after trading had finished the previous day, which is always a bad sign. In fact, I saw this announcement from the company. I went, "Oh, this is going to be bad," and it was bad. And I just saw that comment from a viewer of this channel, and that was all I needed, all the impetus I was needed to do this video. And to be honest with you, to set up and record this video probably only take me 30 minutes at the most, maybe as little as 15 minutes, depending how long this video takes to record, which usually isn't that long, depending on the mood I'm in. So let's get into the crux of today's video. Talking about Highcom. Now, this company used to be called X-Tech. They make armor, that sort of thing. They changed the name to Highcom. Highcom was a business X-Tech acquired a few years ago, and it seems like it was quite close to being a reverse takeover where the biggest company took over a smaller company. So Highcom took over X-Tech, and that's why they changed the name. But this company did look like it had found a bit of momentum back in 2022 after Ukraine was invaded by Russia. And really, the market at one point in time did get interested in this company. But that interest in the company died away in February of 2023. In fact, the share price when the company released their half year results 1 year ago was down 24%. And that destroyed momentum in the share price and sentiment in the company. So before we have a look at why the share price of this company fell 44%, let's have a look at the chart of this company before February 13. So this is a daily chart of the company going back to November 2022. And the share price in late 2022, early 2023 reached a high of about, was it 76 cents or so? And the share price was in a beautiful uptrend. I still remember the share price in a beautiful uptrend. Things were going really well for the company. And then the company released their half year results in February, and the share price absolutely tanked. It fell 24%. I think it was over 2 days or so. And you can just see it here where the sentiment and the trend of the share price totally shifted. Sentiment went from quite positive to negative, and the trend of the share price went from positive or went from an uptrend to a downtrend. And during this time, the company always looked quite cheap, particularly around the potential moving forward. And even if you looked at their financial numbers, the company was profitable. They were talking about dividends, that sort of thing. But the market wasn't convinced. And this was an instance, definitely an instance where we should have listened to the market. The market saw something wrong with this company. And you can just tell that just by looking at the chart after February of 2023. There was a little bit of interest in this company just by looking at the trend in the share price in October, but not a lot of volume came in. And that's very important. When you see share price trending upwards, like it did for this company in October, and there was no volume increase coinciding with the share price increase, that is sort of a weak movement in the share price, and the market, or it's telling us the market is not convinced. And then the share price started moving back into a downtrend after that. And the share price went all the way down to 32 cents, not quite as low as 28 cents, the lows we saw back in September, but no interest in the market around this company. And that can be a sign that you are misreading the company. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a sign that you could be misreading the company. So I should have listened to the chart, well, maybe not listen to the chart, listen to the market and believe what I saw in the chart. Before we have a look at the disastrous announcement the company released after trading had finished for the day on February the 12th, let's go back to the company's AGM only a few months ago, the 23rd of November 2023. This is the group CEO's address to shareholders, not the whole address. This is a little bit of a snippet titled Financial Year 24 Opportunity Pipeline and Outlook. and everything seemed rosy. In fact, at the end of this particular section, they mention, or the CEO mentioned, the group is positive about maintaining continued revenue growth and profitability in financial year 24. So if you just looked at the company's most recent AGM only a few months ago, and I'm going to say right now, between this AGM and the announcement on February the 12th, the company released no price sensitive announcements, which could be concerning in a way, maybe concerning. The company is doing nothing, no sales or anything like that. But if you just looked at the commentary within this particular AGM, things were looking pretty good moving forward for Highcom. Now, whenever I see a company release any sort of guidance at 4:09 p.m., and this was not after trading had finished for the day, this is during the closing auction. But whenever a company releases market sensitive announcements, the shares in that company are suspended from trading for about 10 to 15 minutes. So it seems like, and this is just me saying or being a little bit cynical, it seems like the company strategically released this announcement after trading had finished for the day, so the share price could not be affected. Now, I might be being a little bit unfair on management because there is potential, and this is the way I think about what happened on the 12th. So at the start of the day, the board had no idea this was going to happen. And then maybe the CEO got some numbers from the company and he went, oh no, these are going to be bad. This is bad. And he got the board together. The board saw the numbers and went, we're going to have to release this guidance announcement. And maybe that happened towards the end of the day. And they put the announcement to the ASX. And this was just timing. It was all timing. There was no nefarious reasons why this announcement was released at 4:09 p.m. But to be honest with you, when typically a company releases a really good upgrade, so a profit upgrade, they release that announcement in the morning before trading has begun because they want to see the effects on the share price after they just have released the announcement. So I always get a little bit cynical when I see a negative announcement like this released after trading has finished for the day. Just ignore the announcement they released on the 13th. I'll talk about that later in the video. Now let's get to why the share price of Highcom fell 44% on February the 13th. Now this is titled Highlights. I probably should have retitled this Lowlights. I always am amused to see when a company releases a really bad announcement, they have a highlight section when it seems like the word should be lowlights. Anyway, a really disappointing announcement. Net loss in the range of 13 to 15 million expected the first half of financial year 24, and I was expecting a profit, to be honest with you. Result due to disappointing sales and the board's decision to recognize a one-off non-cash write-down of inventory value. So obviously they increased their inventory way too much, expecting a lot of sales. So that write-down is between 4 to 6 million. So if you take away that write-down, this company was still highly loss-making in the first half of financial year 24. The board has commenced a company-wide review which will result in a range of cost reduction initiatives to turn the company to an EBITDA positive position for second half of financial year 24. I don't care about EBITDA positive. EBITDA is BS earnings. I care about profit. I care about cash flow, that sort of thing. I don't care about EBITDA positive, EBITDA negative. It's BS earnings. So again, when they mention that sort of thing, I don't really pay attention to EBITDA positive or anything like that. So really disappointing announcement from the company, and it sort of makes sense now because the company has not been releasing any sales orders over the past few months. But my big question comes to why was a company so rosy, their outlook so rosy, their commentary so good at the AGM at the end of November, and it only took them 2 months for things to turn from really positive to really negative. Something must have happened in this 2-month period. Now, one of the things that really intrigued me about this particular announcement was found in regards to who was writing the statements. So this particular statement, and to be honest with you, I really like this statement from the company's chairman, Mark Stevens. There was nothing from the CEO, and that will make sense in a second, or it's already made sense to you because you saw that announcement that was released on February 13th, but I'll talk about that in the next slide. Now, I do like this statement from Mark Stevens. The board recognizes the underperformance of the business and its impact on the share price. We are unhappy with current business performance, recognize the need to act swiftly, and to wish to assure shareholders that we remain focused on doing what is needed to enable Highcom Group to be a world-class company servicing the defense and law enforcement industries. And to be honest with you, the need to act swiftly has happened already. And what am I talking about there? Well, I think we have someone who has definitely fallen on the sword, or if not fallen on the sword, they have been kicked to the curb. And that person, of course, that scapegoat, is the CEO. And released at about 1 p.m. on February 13th, we have the resignation of CEO Scott Basham. And I definitely think he is a scapegoat. And to be honest with you, he probably needs to be a scapegoat. And to be honest with you, again, when I saw this announcement, I thought someone needed to go. Maybe not only someone, a group of people needed to go. We needed some new blood in this company. And it seems like the board has got together and has acted swiftly and decisively. Mr. Mark Stevens appointed as executive chairman, so it seems like right now that he, in a way, is running this company. And I'm not disappointed with that because I am impressed with Mark Stevens just because of the statement and how quick the board has reacted. And to finish this particular video, let's have a look, instead of the daily chart, let's have a look at the weekly chart, going back to the middle of 2019. In fact, I should have sold out of my shares in X-Tech back in September 2019 at 95 cents. Beautiful uptrend there, and almost a double top. Share price reached 95 cents in September, also reached 95 cents in May of 2020. And the share price fell all the way from 95 cents to a low of 15 cents in February 2022. And what happened at the start of 2022? Russia invaded Ukraine, and that really helped X-Tech or Highcom for a little bit of time. In fact, that time period was 1 year, because the low in the share price was February 2022. The most recent high in the share price was February 2023. In fact, during that 1 year period, the share price of this company increased fivefold from 15 cents to 75 cents. But that low in the share price in February 2022 was 15 cents. Now, what was the share price low on February 13, 2024? You would be correct if you said 15 cents. Yes, the reason why the low was 15 cents was because that was a low back in February 2022. People know that was a low, and it's not surprising to see the share price bounce off 15 cents. And I think the share price finished at about 18 cents, if I remember correctly. So a nice little 20% profit if you were able to catch some shares at 15 cents. But an ugly looking 1 week candlestick. That's the sort of candlestick you don't want to see. So would not be surprised if there's any more selling during the rest of the week. Would not be surprised if the share price falls below 15 cents because of the extreme negative sentiment in this company right now. And that is all I have for this video on Highcom. Share price down 44%. A disastrous day for the company, but the board has acted quickly and decisively. The CEO is out, no longer. Scott Basham, he's gone. He is the scapegoat. And to be honest with you, there needed to be blood. I wanted to see blood when I saw this announcement as a shareholder, and I've received my blood. So thank you to the board. Thank you to Mark Stevens. They have acted swiftly and decisively. And that's really all I have for this video. If you have any thoughts, any questions, then just leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who's qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for the video. Have a good day. Bye.